Hey guys, I just thought I'd show you some cool gifts that my guys gave me yesterday. You saw the peach Crown Royal yesterday. Took a hit last night. And then they gave me some great Black Rifle coffee. So that'll be, I think that's going to Wyoming with me. My wife doesn't like me messing with coffee, so we'll stick with our standard, but that'll go with me. I'll do that when I'm on my own in Wyoming next month. And then look at this thing. So this is a Christoph, and it is a 770. I don't know if you can see that. Maduro 770. I've never seen anything like that. That's pretty funny. It might be a total for shit cigar, but I will definitely smoke it on one of the future videos. So I thought that was kind of cool. That was a nice set of Christmas gifts the guys gave me. And then I want to show you, I've got some additions to the cellar now. I've got them in my jars. So I don't use ball canning jars. Here in Maryland, I use these big 1 pound jars. But I've got Boswell's Pennsylvania Dutch Treat. And that came, look, I had to make a note. That came from Randy at Ragamuffin. And then I've got the Tinderbox Philosopher, and that's been jarred now. And I can't remember who recommended this. But I'm doing better now. I'm going back and reviewing and writing it down. And then I've got, I showed this to you yesterday, the Cades Cove Cavendish from Gatlin Burlier. And look, that came from Piper Ken. So, Piper Ken, thank you. My anonymous tipster, thank you. And Randy at Ragamuffin Piper, thank you. So there, and then I've made a small jar. I've already made small jars of these guys. But I made a small jar. And that'll sit up here. Remember, that goes back there in that tobacco corner. So that's it. I just want to show that to you as part of today's video. Hello. Good afternoon, YTPC. It is Dave coming to you from Southern Maryland. It's about 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. It's 55, dark, drizzly, low fog, which is rare for here. I don't get a lot of low fog. Reminds me of when I grew up in Seattle, just that real low sky. Been rain most of the night, rained hard all morning. Got a few hour break. I think it's coming back at 5, so kind of stuck back on the front porch again. Pipe, as always, it's that Meerschaum with that beautiful stem. Great coloring. I know you guys mentioned maybe I should try to wax it. Pull that dark color back up here. So I'm gonna look into it. I've heard about it. I've watched a couple of videos about it. So I'll look into what kind of wax to use. I know over waxing is a problem and can actually clog up the Meerschaum pores. So I want to be careful. I should just probably be patient and allow my handling of it and my smoking of it to do it right. But I will take your advice and look into the waxing. So what's in the pipe today is Boswell's Pennsylvania Dutch Treat. And that comes directly from Randy at Ragamuffin Piper. Sorry, Randy, I slaughtered that one pretty good. Ragamuffin Piper. Slightly sweet. I enjoy it. Great room note. What am I drinking today? I am drinking some liquid IV. This stuff's pretty good. I'm doing the lemon lime. Anyway, it is once you get it in the water, you throw a little bit of ice, you shake it up, it stays dissolved. And it's great. I think it's what Gatorade used to try to be. It replaces the salts and the amino acids in your system. It's a great rehydration drink. They say it turns a quart of water into the equivalent of 3 or 4. Don't know if that's true, but I like it. The lemon lime is my favorite, and so that's what I'm drinking today. Not too much sugar, which is nice. It's not incredibly sweet. All right, I can hear the collective groan from the class, but I'm going to read another one of these. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn every one of my videos into this stupid book. But yeah, Greg asked me to type some out, give him some page markers, and I want to give you another one. So this is page 33. This is the entry from February 2nd. It's incredibly easy to get caught up in an activity trap in the busyness of life, to work harder and harder at climbing the ladder of success, only to discover it's leaning against the wrong wall. Ouch. We're all guilty of it. We've pissed hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades away pursuing something maybe that we didn't really want, or pursuing it in a way where it wasn't attainable, and just wasting all that time. And I hear it in the videos sometimes how busy we are. I'm too busy to read. I'm too busy to take a day off. I'm too busy to sit and enjoy my pipe. It's become a rarity. You know, we hear each other say these kind of things. And I think anytime we hear our mouths say, I'm too busy or I don't have time, that should be like a red alert emergency that we need to stop and take stock in how we're choosing to spend our time. One of the conversations I got on some of the comments from yesterday's video was, you know, one thing that I've come to realize is our time, literally our clock time, those hours, how we choose to spend them is really the most important decision of our day. Our time is the most valuable asset, particularly, probably forever, but particularly for those of us on the older side of this equation. Proactively deciding how you're going to spend your hours today and this week, or is life driving the train a little bit too much? There's 168 hours in a week. How are you spending them this week? Here it is Sunday afternoon. So the next 7 days, 168 hours, you have a pretty good idea of how they're going to be spent. Are you spending them the way you want them to be spent? It's a great Sunday afternoon question. Randy over at Ragamuffin Piper, kudos. Boswell's Pennsylvania Dutch Treat. It's pretty damn tasty. Smokes really well, stays lit well. My pipe is liking it. My mouth is liking it. Smells really good. So something that cracked me up was not too long ago, Mark, the Welsh Piper, just put out something that said some of these Americans, they must be buying tobacco every week. They got enough in their cellars to start their own store. Me, guilty. Totally guilty. I bet you I buy some sort of tobacco every week. And sometimes because of you guys, I buy it 2 or 3 times a week. I showed you in the opening, the intro vid, was it 3 new additions? And I have 2 more on order from today. I can't blame Greg because I'm the one who pushed the buttons. But Greg gave me gave us 2 good recommendations, so I went ahead and ordered them. And then Piper Ken backed him up on them. It was Smoker's Choice. Never had it, so that's on order. and Captain Black Dark, which I'd never even heard of before. So those are on in. So 3 new ones came in. I jarred them up, and 2 more on order. I'm like a runaway train. The good thing is I've made worse decisions in the past. There are greater tragedies in my life than I order tobacco every week. If that's my biggest screw up, I'm having a pretty good week this week. Okay, so the first message of the video was, are we so busy that we're not paying attention to what we're doing? And in fact, we're climbing the ladder, leaning against the wrong wall. I thought that was a good one. That stuck with me. I started reading that book. I think I've been through it 7 times, 7 different years. So that was one that stuck with me. The second point, I really like the saying, strong men make soft times. Soft times make soft men. Soft men make hard times. And you repeat the cycle. Some people say weak. Hard times make strong men. Strong men make soft times. Soft times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. I don't want to get too stuck on what words we use, but I firmly believe we're in the last category. I believe we are currently living in an era where we have soft or weak men making hard times. I think we have hard times coming at us because of the weak men that are in charge of the world or leading the world. And I thought it was good to say it out loud. I'm not going to call out names or, get my channel burned down or get anybody who comments on this thing in trouble. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll just leave it generic. I just believe that we are, in general, the generations that are behind me right now are full of very weak men, and the leadership of particularly our Western countries, is really in the hands of very soft or weak men. And I believe we are going to pay the price, and not not in the too distant future. We're sitting here as we turn the cusp to 2024. If you know anything about the Agenda 2030 documents that are out there, I'd say in the next 6 to 10 years, we will pay the price of the weak leadership that we are allowing in our world today. And by the way, it was nice to see Johnny from 2 a.m. Pipe on the Patio come back and give an update on his dog Clover. It's good to see Clover doing well. It's nice to see the community come together and pull together and get that vet bill paid for the family. I know they were struggling with that. So, congratulations to Johnny and to Clover. So you guys find that you have to write stuff down to remember it? I do, more and more so. Holy smokes. You have that brilliant thought, hey, a great topic for my next video is going to be X. And you go, there's no possible chance I'm going to forget that. So you don't write it down. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, what was that? I have no idea what it was. So I have to write it down. I wanted to shout out Randy for recommending the Pennsylvania Dutch treat. But if I didn't write it down, and I didn't, I had to go back and look at my old videos and look at the comments to find out who actually did it. So I've already written down that Uncle Willie is the one who recommended the other 2 that are coming up. And that Piper Ken was on it too. So when I do my shout outs, I can actually say their names and I'll actually be able to remember it a couple days from now. Because if I don't write it down, it just ain't going to happen. It's just crazy. And if I don't write down, if I get asked to do something or if I commit to do something, if I don't write it down on my pad, gone. Somebody will call me 2 days later. I'm like, oh man, I see their number on the phone. I'm like, I don't even want to answer the call because I now remember what I said I would do. So I pretty much have to write everything down now, even if it's on a bunch of scraps of paper and sticky notes that I pull into a list later on in the day. It's amazing how stupid and sieve-like my brain has gotten over the last few years. So I don't know if that's just a 59-year-old penalty and it's just going to keep getting worse. Not really sure, but just thought I'd come clean on that. Okay, last thought for Mr. Helpful here. As I've come to believe it is incredibly important the words we use, the language we choose to use that comes out of our mouth. And there are two words that I ask the people I work with to listen for. And if they hear themselves saying it, they have to stop talking for a minute. Not and don't. It's crazy how our society has come to those two words in almost in every sentence. We almost always say things from the negative instead from the positive. I don't want to be late to this meeting. Instead of saying, I want to be early to the meeting. Or I'm not going to put up with X. Or I'm not going to do Y. I'm not sure. See, I'm not sure how that became a primary focus of our speech patterns in our world today. But you hear it almost every conversation, almost every sentence. Someone will say it from the negative. So just listen for it. Listen for it from the people you're talking with, and listen for it coming out of your mouth. When you hear the word don't or the word not come out of your mouth, see if you can't stop that sentence and spin it around and say what you do want, what you are going to accomplish, what you do want to have happen. It will change how you think. It will change how you talk. It will change how people perceive you. If you talk from the positive, from you talk from the proactive, from you, if you talk from what you want to have happen, or how you want things to be, as opposed to how you don't want things to be, or how you're not gonna do something. But I have to recommend Pennsylvania Dutch Treat. It's pretty good. My first bowl, but it's pretty good. I've enjoyed this completely. I'm about halfway through it now. That's all I got today. We'll take it easy. Sunday afternoon. Hoping you have a good Sunday. Hope you have a good weekend. If I can handle it, I'll put together my Monaco F1 week video from last May and try to get that posted up as part of my next video. A lot of moving parts to it. It's a long video, so I have to cut the pieces down a little bit. All right, you guys. Have a great Sunday night. Hopefully we'll talk tomorrow. Bye, you guys.